Hi, my name's Anitra, and I wanted to start chronicling the journey that I'm on with breast cancer for other women who are probably like I've been feverishly out there searching for information, data, statistics, personal accounts of other women who have been diagnosed with breast cancer. I think most of us know it's something like 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and I think the numbers are rising. I have a lot to say about that, but I'll start just with the basics. Another reason I wanted to chronicle this is I know there's not a lot of information out there, really, especially if you're taking an alternative or integrative approach. Um, Most women, I don't know the numbers, but most women do take a conventional route, or many women, probably most, and a lot are more turning toward what you'd call alternative or integrative methods, which aren't usually available on one's insurance or at the hospital. So I have invasive ductal carcinoma, also called infiltrating ductal carcinoma. I was diagnosed on October 22nd, 2017. Today's December 22nd, 2017, so it's been 2 months to the day. I was doing a self-exam. I had a recurring calendar appointment pop up that said, check your breasts in the shower. And the way that I would check is just raising my arms above my head and just feeling around and feeling for anything abnormal. And I happened to be going to the doctor's, and I mentioned that I felt something, just felt different there. It felt like a little lump. I didn't really know what to feel for except for any irregularity. And I had felt one, and the nurse practitioner said, oh, that maybe that's fibrosis. So um, anyway, the rest of my diagnosis, I wanted to get that out there early, was triple positive invasive ductal carcinoma on the left breast, um, grade 2. The grades are 1, 2, or 3. Mine's grade 2. It was diagnosed at grade 2. And then the stage was something like 2, somewhere between a 2 and a 3. I'm viewing it as a 2 now. And that has to do with the size of it. Basically, the cancer, I've now had an MRI. I've had a brain MRI, and I've had a PET CT scan, and the PET CT showed the tumor being at the 3 o'clock position with some lymph node involvement. So it's between 1 and 3 lymph nodes that are affected, and it looks like not more than that. And having lymph node involvement on the same side where the cancer is considered is not considered metastasized. So if the PET CT scan would have showed cancer somewhere else, like in this breast or this lymph node or in the liver or anywhere else, that would be metastatic cancer, but it doesn't show that I have that. So because of the size of the tumor is, it was biopsied at 2.5 centimeters. Anything over 2, I think, automatically makes you stage 2, if I have that correct, if I have that information right. So I've right now been doing IPT. My path is to do a somewhat integrative approach. So I'm not doing fully alternative fully alternative, and I'm not doing the conventional path. If I do the conventional path, I met with an oncologist, I would be getting chemo, radiation, surgery. It's just a standard course of treatment that they offer. And I'm not just changing my diet and taking supplements. I'm getting this thing called IPT, and IPT is Insulin Potentiation Therapy. And basically, as I understand it, how it happens is I get an IV in my arm, and my insulin, the blood sugar level gets lowered. I think in a just normal healthy person, the insulin level is somewhere in the 80s or 90s. And they lower the insulin level, the blood sugar level. They put in insulin to lower the blood sugar level down to between 30 and 40. And when the body gets down that low, it basically is the cancer cells become starving. doesn't impact the regular cells, as I understand it. The cancer cells become starving, and there's more receptor sites on the cancer, and they're just like, reaching and grasping out, like, feed me, feed me. So because they're reaching out with so many receptor sites, then you put the chemo drug in. They call it low dose chemo, LDC, and I'm using Herceptin because I'm HER2 positive, and Herceptin was created, I think in the 90s, and I think it became available in the late 90s, so it's kind of new. But they say when you have HER2 positive breast cancer, they consider that, quote, a good thing because there's a drug out there for you called Herceptin. So I'm doing low dose chemo of Herceptin through this IPT method. I've had 4 treatments. There have been the last 4 Wednesdays I've gone, and I'm working with Dr. Schallenberger in Carson City, just outside of Reno, Nevada. So it's about a 2.5-hour drive for us. Every Tuesday we go there, and then I get treatment on Wednesday. So I've had 4 treatments, and basically so far I can tell that the tumor, the area in my breast, it's softened, it's shrunk, there's changes. When I first had the biopsy, I couldn't even sleep on that side. It was really uncomfortable. I mean, the biopsy is aggravating anyway. It aggravates the area. Some say it can spread the cancer. I didn't really know what to do from the time that they did an ultrasound and they did a mammogram, and I just did what they said to do. And so they said, okay, we want to do a biopsy. I was like, okay, let's do a biopsy. I wanted to know, is this cancer? I didn't know anything about cancer. I knew 2 people in my life who had cancer, and it wasn't breast cancer. I mean, now that I've been sharing my story and talking about it and spending all my days learning everything there is for me to learn about cancer the last 2 months, I'm seeing that tons of people have had people in their lives that had breast cancer or had some other type of cancer. So I basically didn't know what to do, and I did what was recommended. So I had the biopsy, and where was I going with that? I did a lot of research, and I found a lot of people are doing alternative treatments, and so IPT looked like, to me, an integrative or a middle path, because it is still utilizing pharmaceutical drugs, but it's doing it at a 10 or 15% ratio instead of 100%. So basically I get 50 milligrams a week of Herceptin. And the doctor I'm working with now, he said the goal is to shrink the tumor and then have a lumpectomy, have surgery, and then be on hormone blockers for some period of time after that. Well, I'm finding out now that I might not want to do surgery. I'm still open to surgery, but I know there are other options. There's something called black salve that I'm looking into, and I just started looking into that. So I'm learning as I go. It's basically, that's what there is. That's my option, is to learn as I go if I want to be the one who says how it's going to go. Otherwise, I relinquish my power and my decision making over to an oncologist who may or may not. He has to do what he's been taught to do and what he's agreed to do, what he could lose his license for not doing. So he's looking out for me, but he's not really looking out for me as much as he's doing what he has agreed to do as a doctor. So anyway, I'm learning as I go. The oncologist that I'm working with is phenomenal, because he said, I understand your position. You have to do what's right for you, and I'm here for you when you need scans and tests and information, and he really has been. So I did a PET CT scan, I did a brain MRI, I have a breast MRI scheduled for next week. I'll get an ultrasound again on the tumor in a few weeks when my doctor is back. He's gone for the holidays. It's 2 days before Christmas right now, 3 days, I guess. And I'll get an ultrasound, and that should really show me where I'm at. I mean, it's obvious to me that my breast has changed, like I said, and it's definitely working. So it's really good news. I've altered my diet tremendously, and I haven't really settled on the one that feels exactly right or the one that's best for me. I don't eat sugar. I think it's probably well known that sugar feeds cancer. That's becoming more and more known. So that one's pretty easy. I will allow myself a green apple and a red apple in the juice that I make. My partner, he makes a juice for me every day. And then on days where I do get IPT, I let myself after that eat what I want. And I don't know if I'll keep doing that. I had a croissant last week and I really wanted that. That was my treat for myself. But I actually didn't feel so good after it. I was feeling really bloated and kind of gross. So I don't know if I'll do that again, but I usually let myself have berries and coconut water. I wouldn't normally have coconut water, but the purest raw coconut water that I could have feels really good to just give myself a treat that's not super bad. I'm not running out and eating a piece of cake or something. So anyway, this is longer than I wanted it to be. I'm hoping to record a video once a week because I know there are women out there looking for information. And again, mine's HER2 positive, triple positive breast cancer, and I'm going an integrative route, and I want to share my journey and my process because I hope that it might help somebody else looking for information. And you can hear how it's gone for somebody. I mean, I'm 2 months in, so I'm still really new in. And I have more to share, like books I've come across and different ways of eating and different realizations, but I want to try to keep these around 10 minutes. So that's what I have to say today. Leave a message if you want, or just check back in, and I'm going to try to do them on Fridays so you can see what's going on. So thanks for caring, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. I appreciate it a lot.